Oh, otter. Them dang. Hey, I'll tell you all, I killed a turkey this morning. We only got a little bit more time. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. You hadn't seen it on his feet. He told me the story, but it was pretty legit. And I don't turkey hunt.
We're both rookie turkey hunters, ain't we?
I'm like a rookie. Is that the first turkey you ever killed?
The first one I've ever killed, yeah.
Really? You killed it by yourself?
Yeah.
I gotta.
Well, no, guys, we're back. I've turkey hunted 9 days of my life. And truly, I had 2 other opportunities where I really should have been close to it. One day, it was probably the same group of 4 toms that came through today. And
hey, you've got a heavy road. I need to give you a head start.
It was the only day I had to take the same stuff. I should have killed it.
I got a good prop and everything. We're back on.
It's a good place to have a banged up prop.
I think we're
so this is a good place to have a banged up prop. You'll bang one up. Yep. Ah! I would have told him good luck, but I wouldn't have really meant it. I like to turn my sonar off when I'm up here real shallow. These fish are spawning and stuff. I like for it to be just as quiet as it can possibly be. I saw one about a 2.5, 3 pounder right up there it sits. And maybe. That may not be a 2 pounder. We're doing a 2 pound minimum. That one might score. Parker and I were up here the other day. Caught some fish. The water was up more. Make sure all my ducks are in a row.
have it. Gosh, I should have probably put up there.
Probably gonna start off with a wacky worm.
I'm gonna start with the dang flipping bait.
I said when I was up here the other day, a wacky sticko was best, but the water was up a little more. It was a little dirtier. Fish were shallow, but they weren't hard to catch really. But with it being a little lower and so shallow,
Well,
a lot of times that
you got this thing on?
little worm right there can be
You got power going to it?
can be a lot better. It doesn't sink as
My
fast.
light's on in my pocket. 328. 320. So I gotta have. You got your phone? Is it on your phone? Is the score tracker? Okay.
It's gonna be fun. Gonna be a good time. Me and Wheels. The loser
Real
gets
quick here.
social media humiliation. That's what we're fishing for. Bragging rights. Bragging rights. A lot of fish spawning right now. We went around a little bit of time I was here, marked some on up here in this next little area. I just had to start in here. It's good the other day. These fish are hard to see, just the color of the bottom and stuff. Pretty hard to see them.
Wind's howling.
30 seconds. Ooh, look at that. Look. You see that? That was a bass. Ooh, I'm gonna catch him on my first throw. It's going down, Wells. You're going down.
20 seconds.
15. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lines in.
All right, let's go. Let's get it on.
I didn't skip it quite
On,
far
you
enough.
suckers. All right, let me hit snooze. And there should be a couple of them out here, like free spawners. I'm gonna take my time a little bit. Ooh.
It wasn't on the first cast, but it was on the second one. I just don't think he's gonna score. No score on that one. I'm not even gonna waste my time waiting since it's a 2 pound minimum. Nope, no score. I felt my line go limp. Just maybe there's a female in there though. Like that, that looks like a bed right there. For sure a bed up there. Possibly a bed out here on the end of
I would
this
think
log.
there'd be some spawning on these rocks. You can hop a little
These fish
crawl
are
down
just so
through there.
hard to see in this place. The water's clean, but it's not that clean. But there's one for sure. I see that one. Good one too. it, you sucker. Man, I think he would score. First time, I thought for sure. Oh yeah, definitely. Definitely scoreable. Spooked him out of there, but here he comes back. Oh, golly, there's a big one. A big one with it. Dude, a big one. Dude, it's like a 6-pounder with it. I didn't know where that fish came from. Maybe she ain't 6, she's 4. She looks at that worm one. Oh my goodness, that big one just ate it and I missed her. Dude, she swam in there and ate it. I knew she was looking at it. Oh my goodness.
Dang.
Come back in there, baby. Where you at, you big old sucker, you? She didn't get the hook, she just had the worm. She goes somewhere over there to the right and gets in the shade and I can't see her. The male's still in there, but I don't see her. I don't know where she is. Dude, she swam right in there and just dunk. Is that her over there? No. Looks like no. We had to do a 1 pound just to make sure everything was working, so there's no score yet. Even though both of them says a pound. The male's probably 2.5, I would guess. He's for sure scoreable. That female's big wherever she went. try something else.
Yeah. Huh?
Got a little something here, shall
Yeah, I was gonna see.
And just get that wacky worm in there so much easier, but they will sure bite this. There she comes. Dude, that's a big old fish. I'll wait to jiggle us till she gets in there. She's swimming in there.
I wonder why that one didn't get it.
She was.
Didn't
She
come
turned
back.
around. She's sitting under that log. She's sitting right there, right under that log. She's sitting right over there. Dang, almost looks like she about bit at that right there. She ain't spooked
Any one
by
of
it.
the dumb ones, big dumb ones. Yeah, 6 pounds.
Yeah, be careful at that time.
Yeah, big,
A little too close to her.
dumb 6 pounds.
There's that male. He's looking at it. I'll scoot in there just a little bit. See a little bit closer, a little better look. A little easier to get the bait right where I want it.
What's that? Yep. Yeah, it is.
You big dummy.
Yes, it is on there.
He didn't care though.
Yeah, batteries.
Yeah, but it is, sometimes it won't show it.
I'm surprised he didn't already bite that wacky worm. Where you going, old boy? Oh,
Yeah, but it does that. Like it'll.
bit at it.
Huh?
Oh, he turned on it and bit it. He did, he did. Oh, he's getting mad now. See him, he's backed up in that little pocket. Got him. Dadgummit. Dude, that fish is a lot bigger than what I thought he was. A lot bigger than what I thought he was. Dadgummit. Your lucky wheels. I'll get him again. Maybe. He's out here to the right of the bed right now. He swam back in there. Both of them have bit and I've missed them. Shouldn't have been standing up on this trolling motor. He's sitting right there. There's that big old girl. Well, she is a big old girl. Can't believe I had both these fish right here bite, and I messed up both of them. Been like 8 pounds right here, at least off the bed. He's looking at it again. Considering. He don't go far, but he certainly ain't as fired up as what he was. Stand up in that little shady place over there a lot more rather than there. It's I know where he keeps going. Here comes the big one. Swimming back in there. She didn't come all the way in. That's a big old fish right there, that female.
Nothing?
She's a big girl.
Huh? Nothing? You suckers. Where y'all at? Y'all ain't gotta play no games. Bite my frog. I need about a 5-pounder.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to catch this one.
I just want to frog them up. That's all I want to do.
I don't think I'm going to. So it looks like we're tied at nothing. Golly, that's a big old fish. Let her come in there and bite my worm, dummy. You ain't going to. She's looking. Dude, she's looking right at it. I mean, like this. Oh, she turned off of it. Dude, that's a big one. I'm talking about a sure enough grown one. Oh, she just swam out.
So the fish, water is dropped. I'm trying to fish these, really take my time and efficiently. I'm fishing a little bandito bug.
Oh, wait.
She's coming around. Okay, she's coming loose. That's her. That's the giant one. Stay on there, baby. That is the giant one. Look at that. Oh my gosh. Please stay on there. That is the giant one. She's got that little wacky worm 8. Come here. Yee! Look at that big, oh baby right there. Golly. Wheeler's gonna freak out when he
I
hears
don't know,
this.
man. I don't know.
Woo!
That's gonna be close. I don't
Dude, that's a big
know.
one. She stole my worm the first time I threw it in there. All right, I'm gonna get my scale on 0 right here.
Zero the scale. Zero.
Okay, 0 right there. See
I
that?
don't know if it's gonna make it.
Oh, baby.
110. God.
614.
I was hoping.
614 right there.
I was hopeful.
Ooh, 614, dude, almost a 7-pounder. Oh, man. Dude, that's so awesome. Watched her swim through there a couple times before she ended up biting it. Yes! She bit it the first time. Add new weight. 14.
This thing, I've seen a whole bunch of things. Small,
Oh, it's a big
small males, and I'm thinking like the only way I'm gonna catch a big one is to trick them eat a frog.
You gotta have the pin. Lost the pin. Oh
Otter.
my gosh.
Otter.
What's the pin, old boy? I lost it.
The pin? Birdie got
Yeah,
it.
that's good. For some reason it went away.
6712.
6712.
6712.
We've got an update on Score Tracker.
Uh-oh, here we go.
You might want to check it.
Is it updated? I gotta look at it myself. Hold on, let me check it.
Hang on. 614. Yeah.
Let me see the dang short.
Wacky worm.
You catch that dang biggin?
Yep.
You sucker. Look, I knew you were gonna start on that sucker, and I knew better. I was like, this son of a gun. I got
Yep.
jipped on that one. I was like, I knew that was like a 6 to a 7.
Yep.
You suck.
Alright. Yep. See you.
14. Gosh dang it. You got how?
I lost him. We're having a little competition. Man, yeah. Yeah, we're having a little competition.
Did you get him off the bank?
Yeah. Yeah.
More riprap along here.
Did you? Good.
I'm working on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. That's
Going back 3 feet since I built the dock.
really. Yeah, I live on the Holston down below Cherokee Dam a ways. Blaine. Yeah, that's our bank. Just keeps going back and back and back. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's him right down there.
I got pound and a half. Gosh, that's a big one, I knew.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Yeah, it's a Bass Pro worm, but it's like a trick worm. Watermelon.
Yeah, we had one they were getting hot one day.
Yeah, oh yeah, I like a pink worm wacky rig real well.
Fished up here before?
Yeah, I was up here just like a week or two ago with my boy.
Time, I guess.
Yeah.
Some young one you were using.
Yeah, that's my boy.
I hate for this place to get found out.
Yeah.
The trouble is the internet is pouring out.
Yeah. Yeah.
It used to be 15 years ago, I come out here on a Saturday and just meet me and 2 boats.
Right.
Now you can't get a space to park your boat in the rain.
Yeah.
You really can't go much up there if you're a mile.
Yeah. You can.
There's rocks up there.
Yeah. Maybe with that jet drive you can though.
I could if I had the guts to run. I've considered getting this out for it.
Yeah. I've got one of those too. They're fun.
They can run all the way.
Yeah.
Churchill.
Yeah. Yeah, you can get the,
Yours Park, you can't go any further.
yeah, up there at the ammunition plant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where you gotta stop.
Yeah.
But with a jet out for it, I think around doing something. For adding, it's really adding into the person. I have to use this to get rid of these weeds and debris. And,
Okay.
I can pull off. All these weeds are mechanically pulled out of here by me.
Really? You keep that open and stuff?
That was closed up. You go back and look at some old MSN photos.
Yeah.
It was literally closed up.
Really?
I went in with I got a 16-foot grate made out of 2x4s, PVC, and I would literally go in and close it.
Wow.
Up down there.
Really?
I pulled that was 400 feet out there. I pulled,
Wow.
I got it.
Yep. Well, that's a lot of people get to enjoy it because of that.
Well, if I'm gonna have a nice place to boat, that's what I got.
Yeah.
Those weeds right next to you, I pulled them. Don't get moved. I try to go back up to that tree.
Yeah.
And that's what really is. It's like that. Maybe 25 feet. I had to come down and ask when you catch them on
Yeah.
last couple of days.
Yeah. This water's dropped a lot, ain't it?
Right now, on what I consider to be the high side.
Right. That's what.
Usually, my dock is 2 feet out of the water.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's still high, but I mean, when we was up here a week ago, it was a foot or more higher than it is now.
Well, the dock was under.
Yeah.
But this dry spell will help a little bit.
Yeah.
They just had so much rain this year.
Yeah, they have.
The TVA doing all they can. Yeah, they don't have boom. Not having boom up there to hold water anymore.
That hurts a lot.
So pretty, got these little overhanging
Yeah.
trees.
It helps. No. Nope, no weight at all.
That's how
Just bit it again. It feels
This
small.
where it
Feels
should be like right here.
I'm gonna throw a buzz bait out here.
yeah. Not anymore. Only when it's just
That one night all keep being hopeful. And I went to truck, and that threw.
yeah.
Just catch another one up there.
That's I was just checking on it. We've got a score tracker. He hadn't caught one yet, so. Yep. Yep. Have a good day. That's right.
Give us a little bit of
Hey, by the way.
Ott Defoe. Ott Defoe. Ott Defoe. Yep.
It's like the best we can stretch I've seen. I know they're spawning around and stuff. So.
He's in here a little bit and try this crawl. Just a few pitches. Maybe.
That one. In that little hole.
He don't like it. I hit him with it. He sure enough spins around right fast like. Oh, it's twice. Twice I've lost that sucker. He had it and was gone, swimming with it. See you, bye. Wrapped me up on that same twig that she did earlier. He's back in there though. Let's see what he does. I'm bumping with it this time. Can't believe I messed that up twice. I can. Messed that fish up twice. That's. Have to get a check on the score tracker once in a while, just see if Will's caught him one yet. I wish this fish would eat my wacky worm. I feel like I'd catch him.
I wonder why that sucker went by. One decent bite on a frog.
So crazy it's that big one. Bit this worm, but that other one never would.
Bet you put a sucker wacky style on good.
That was a good one. I seen it flash with her. I seen it flash. So, tick, tick. Can't see it. I know it's right there. 15 minutes till this period's over with. That's all we got.
Trying to get them suckers to. Damn.
That little old fella there ain't scoreable. That one there could be. Not for sure where he came from. Where'd you go? Well, if there's a scoreable. frog up in there a time or two. Where you at, Frogger? That stuff's just so shallow. The heck was that little bite?
We got phone line. Okay. You gotta get it in big, and if I can catch 1 5-pounder.
Kind of feel like I see one right there. Ain't no way Wheeler ain't had a bite. Just ain't no way. We ran up over something, just scared some bait. That's a good sign. Must be some bluegill biting.
I wonder if I can pitch some holes better.
There's one. Like that little white spot out there where that one twig of grass would be a bed.
Hey. Not the flag, not the Lucas.
Staying put at all. Or if that was even a different fish. He's just zooming around. He ain't in no kind of catchable mood. Drop on this little hard bank right down through here. I'd really like to be up there where I can see. Otherwise I'm gonna spook them. That's a guarantee. I don't really need that thing right now. Not in this grass. Typically, I always use my 360, but right here, right now, I'm not. Get it out of the way. there, stick. Where you at, worm? Wormy worm. Oh, that lines out.
Done. End of the period.
Lines out, end of the first period, I guess.
All right. End of the period. Down.
Glad we set alarms because I forgot.
Right click here.
Forgot one was what.
All right.
Let's check it.
Yeah,
See if
we're
Will's
down.
caught
We
one
already
there
know
late.
that's 14 Down. Yep, we're down 6-14. We both had to put a 1 pound fish
Can't
in,
believe
which
that. That's
was
the
a 2 pound
first
minimum.
period to my knowledge in my life that Jacob Wheeler hadn't caught a bass.
Interesting.
Crazy. Craziness. I had that male off of that bed that I lost
Had one good bite
twice,
on the
probably a 3. I'd say at least a 3 pounder. Lost him twice. And one other bite that bit my worm. By that little clump of stuff that I'm pretty sure I saw that looked like another decent one, 2.5, 3 pounder. Just didn't get it.
I think that frog is still like a, I think it's savior of bottom.
What was weird was that female, she wouldn't sit in the bed. She wouldn't really sit there at all. She'd just kind of cruise through. But the first time she cruised in there, I had my wacky worm in there, dude, and she looked at it, and I threw it back in there, and she actually bit, like, second cast at her. But she stole my worm, she didn't get it. And then it wasn't, the next time she was in there, like 2 casts. Dude, I caught her, so that was pretty wild. But 10-minute break, 10-minute break. I can't believe it's this tough. This little place is not showing its potential just yet, but that's okay. They're here. They're here. Water's clear.
What's up, everybody? Thank you
Wait,
guys
hold up,
so
hold
much
up,
for
hold up.
hopping on. We are, I'll tell you what, this is the end of the first period, and I'm sort of going to go over the rules. Otter and I will both go over the rules of what's going down right now. We have 3 periods, and it's a 2 pound minimum. So very similar to what we have on the Bass Pro Tour and a lot of lakes that we fish. It's a variable weight weight minimum. And so right now, this is the first time we've ever done this. So this is like the first time. We're still trying to figure this whole thing out. So we really appreciate you guys jumping on, helping us figure this whole thing out. Brody's trying to kill it. He's doing a great job. And we're watching a lot of your comments. So we're trying to let you guys see live or streaming live what's going down and what goes through our minds as we're trying to figure these fish out. Now, the rules are very simple. 2 pound minimum. We have to weigh them on our Rapalus scales. We both have the same scales. We figured out that basically they both weigh the same. We weighed the exact same object, and they both weighed the same. We zero the scales before we weigh the fish, and then we enter those in before we can make another cast. So that is the rules. And now at the end of the deal, now what we have on the line. So you guys have been asking what ultimately is on the line. Okay, there is something on the line. The winner of this, okay, the loser will have to post on their social media that angler that they lost, and then that other angler is the best. So if Ott wins, go ahead, Otter.
Yeah, humiliation is basically what's on the line.
That is literally what is on the line. So whoever wins, I'm in the hole right now. I'm on the hole at 6:14, so I got to do some work. But that is, this is the plan is to ultimately grow this and get this a little bit bigger. But first off, I wanted to start with my good buddy Ott Defoe. He's whooped up on me plenty of times. I've beat him a few times as well. So, and that was something that we wanted to sort of come together. We both live in the state of Tennessee. And this is not Chickamauga. This is not Chickamauga, but we are trying to, this is the thing, we're not going to blow fisheries up. We're not going to talk about fisheries. We want to let you guys have the opportunity to learn from what we're doing day in and out. We're going to talk about the conditions of what we're dealt with, going forward here. For sure. And that's the thing. So, like, going into this, you know a little bit about what went down. What do you think ultimately, it was post-frontal conditions for sure. But talk a little bit about what the conditions were and what we were facing.
Yeah, so it it was post frontal. You see it. You don't see it really where either of us are fishing. We were both tucked out of the wind, but we had like a 15, 20 mile an hour northwest wind blowing that front out, and it was a cooler day. With the last couple days prior to this were both super nice days, but the high here the day that we're fishing is only like 65. So you combine that with the fact, and you can see on some of these banks and stuff in some areas that the water has dropped like a foot and a half, maybe as much as 2 feet in probably 3 or 4 days. So that's a major deal. And like that big one I caught, you saw that I was sitting there fishing the same spot over and over. Actually lost the male twice, probably a 3-pounder or so. But those were spawning fish, and that's what a lot of these fish up here on this body of water we're doing at this point in time. And are doing. That's what they're doing. But being that water had dropped hard, Wills, you and I both fished a lot of different places across the country. If those bass are spawning, even if they're out in 4 or 5 feet, but that water drops a foot or 2 foot, they just get
They
weird.
don't like
There's
it.
no better way to put it.
They don't like it.
No, not at all. They don't. And that's why my first deal was with a wacky worm, just something to try to get a bite. And dude, a wacky worm will catch a big one. I've got one on the score tracker that's almost a 7-pounder, so you're certainly not fishing for little ones with a wacky worm. But that's kind of the conditions: post frontal, falling water, spawning fish is kind of the nuts and bolts of what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, I think that was the biggest thing is we were looking at what was going on, and these fish were a little bit in that goofy stage. I mean, you got to pay attention to water level. When water is going up, those fish start to feel secure on their bedding areas. They start to feel like, and this is even like right now in Chickamauga, like what I mean, like the water is rising, so those fish that are spawning, they feel to where like they have that security that the water is going to be there. When that water starts dropping, they do get really weird. So we had a few things that we wrote down along the way. What did you end up catching that fish on? You caught it on a wacky worm, Mark?
I caught on a wacky worm. Yep, it's a Bass Pro worm. They call it a Fennec worm, watermelon, number 1 VMC weedless Nico hook. It's just a dynamite hook for wacky rigging. Comes through cover well. The thing I was going to add to what you said about rising water and spawning fish, and that they feel more protected. Not only do I think they feel more protected, I honestly feel like rising water spawning fish get more aggressive. Would you agree
Yeah, I
with
would
that?
agree with that. Absolutely. Like if you hop their stuff through there, they're gonna bite it. Like almost.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the thing is like I seen that. So when it's sort of funny. Ott and I found that same fish. We had like basically 2 or 3 hours before. Well, actually, I didn't know it was there, but like 2 or 3 hours before we started, and I was like, hey, we sort of just did a takeoff. Ott ran in there, so I decided to start in an area that was protected and where I felt like from the wind and was protected from harsh north wind. And that was the thing is like I was looking down there and I would see multiple fish. The first probably my 10th cast or 20th cast with a frog, I had one blow up on it, and I ended up catching that one that was like right there at 111. That was non-scoreable in this format, but that was the thing is those fish. A lot of those fish are still spawning very shallow, and they get to where they get really goofy when that happens. And I think that the best thing. A lot of this water had silted bottom. It was very silted.
Yeah.
So you have to you can't be throwing a really heavy weight. So you're not going to want to throw like a half-ounce flipping weight. You want to go to quarters. You want to go to lighter, weightless worms like you did with that wacky worm. Those are the presentations that you use when those fish are spawning, when you're fishing for fish that are 2 foot or less or a foot or less. That slower fall tends to get more bites in a situation. So that's the thing, I mean, I think that was definitely a huge deal. I knocked out a few things that I wrote a couple things down. Are we fishing the same lake was a question that I wrote down. We are definitely fishing the same lake. And it definitely has some big ones. Obviously, you can tell with the one that I caught with almost 7 pounds. That's not a little fish by any means.
Yeah, no, that was a good one. Yeah, you can't quite look at the feet over here, too. Ask about fishing the same lake. At this point in time, we're about maybe a quarter of a mile apart.
You'll probably see me run by here in a second.
Yeah. Yep. So, yeah.
I'm
definitely
blowing
the
him
same
out.
place. Yep.
I was hoping I could blow him out, help him out a little bit. Maybe get the cigarette to start biting.
I'm going fishing.
But and what's going through my mind at this particular situation is I know that I have to make an adjustment. This is a very shortened format of what we're used to. It wasn't
Yeah.
like we had multiple days of practice. It wasn't like we were going out here and constantly fishing this body of water. Ott's fished it a few times. I fished it, very little, and I spent a little bit of time practicing. We both had about the same, close to the same amount of practice. I had a little bit more than he did, and I was looking like maybe just a few hours. So I had to, very much so you go off an instinct of what you have going on. That's a lot of what you're trying to sort of get a feel for what's going on in that body of water, what's available. I was able to look at the majority of the body of the water, during that runaround period, sort of, kind of. And that was the key with really just trying to make decisions. So I basically had one little area that I did not get a chance to look at. And very quickly here, I'm going to look and basically try to go to that area. I think that was a big thing. So, Otter, you obviously, when he's set up right here on a lot of this grass, he's fishing, I would assume inside grass line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and going to those spawner fish, and the thing you said about a lot of us having a lot of seal. Anytime you're fishing a body of water that's got a lot of soft bottom, but you're there when those fish are trying to spawn, finding any kind of hard bottom whatsoever is going to be where you want to be. So that's what I was looking for. That's what we were both looking for. Places that weren't in the current, but had had some hard bottom to them. So that was definitely key. Or any type of piece of wood at that point in time becomes really, really important too. One question I did see just pop up here is how long was each period? We fished 3 1-hour periods, 2 10-minute breaks. It looks like our break is just over here. But I'm back to fishing. You're making a little.
I'm chopping on down the pond. I'm chopping on down that pond.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah. So we fished 3 hours, 2 10-minute breaks in between, and yeah, that was what our schedule for the day was.
Yeah, it was basically what it was set up like. It was set up very much so like a dog fight, a wildcat, a weeknight tournament, in which so many of us grew up fishing. Ott, myself. So many of you probably fish weeknighters. I still fish them here in Chickamauga. Like I love it.
Yeah.
I enjoy it, and it's a high stress. You don't get them every time, but it makes you make decisions very quickly. And when you add that MLF format in this situation to a 3-hour deal, it even amplifies that a little bit more.
Yeah, it definitely does. 3 hours, every fish counting, and then me having to fish against Wheeler, it definitely ratchets up the pressure.
That's for sure. And so I shut down in this little area that it's like a little, like just trying to basically fish a little creek, something out of the current. There's obviously current in a lot of places all across the country in the wind, trying somewhere that's protected. That's really a key when you're fishing. A system is trying to find protected, whether it's a river, whether it's a lake, a stream. You're trying to find protected areas where these fish are going to go to spawn. This is the time of year, at least in the south, the fish are going to slide in to go to spawn. So right now we're both sort of trying to target the same type of situation.
Yeah, and too, that's in our part of the country, just in the general region of the South. Tennessee area. This general part of the country, a lot of what's going on there these are the earlier waves of fish. So those are the fish that are going to be tucked back further. They're going to be further back in a pocket, further back in the creek. As you get later into the spawn, and in our part of the country, that would be May, towards the end of May. I've caught fish as late as June on the bed on some of our lakes. Those fish are much more likely to be out further. You'll catch them in little short pockets, or even sometimes right on the main lake. So those very first waves of fish you find spawning are almost always the ones that are going to be the furthest back, the warmest water, the most protected, those type of deals.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That definitely is a big deal. And right now, will you sort of what's going through your mind right now? You're turning around, you just fished through that area. What are you thinking?
I kind of fished a little stretch right there where I could get to some hard bank. With the water having failed, there was some more hard bank up through there, but I really couldn't get to it. Yeah. So I'm kind of, what I've done here is I feel like I'm out of options. I saw a couple more fish down through here that I didn't catch. I had one other bite that just stole my worm earlier that wasn't on that same bed. So I wanted to buzz through that quick. And then, I kind of felt like I had maximized what I could do here. I didn't catch them all, I knew that, but I felt like I had, I'd kind of worked it over for what it was worth.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing is you have to make adjustments Like where I'm sitting right here, I think I picked up I'm throwing like a lunker log, just trying to fish this beaver dam, this beaver hut. I mean, I know a lot of people that said they've caught a lot of fish on beaver huts. And some people that have not caught very many. But beaver huts are always a place for those fish to pre-spawn, to stage, post-spawn, set up. It's a very good place. I sort of thought that, and I know, like at this point in time, I know I'm 6-14 behind. I have to catch a good one, and I feel like at this particular time, like the water's super clear. You can tell it's a little bit cleaner in my area than it is in Otter's area, and that was something that I was trying to sort of figure out as I went. Are they spawning in every area, or are they just in the very protected areas? And that was something that as I was going down through there.
That particular, in our little 2-hour ride around, I had my wacky worm course, no hook on it during that.
Hey, you see what I picked up, Otter?
Was that you just pull out the glide?
Yeah. I got to catch a 6-14.
I shook off a bite. I don't know if it had been scoreable or not. I couldn't see the fish good, but I shook one off on that beaver hut right there in our little.
Did you?
Pre-fish period, yeah.
No.
There was one on the bed that was not scoreable, right up in.
On the right hand side of it.
Front of that thing, yeah.
Yeah.
A small one, but the bite I had was kind of out where you just threw.
I went back.
I don't know.
Yeah, that was interesting for sure. I mean, and guys, as you go along through here, if you guys have specific questions, we can both see your comments. So if there's specific questions, then we're gonna try to let you guys know. Try to answer those questions. When do you know when to throw a glide? Okay, so that was just a question that popped up. It's sort of like rolling the dice. I'm going to throw a glide, isn't it? Like, I feel like I'm throwing a Rashi glide. The Rashi glide is something, I tell you what, it's really a special bait. Ott and I both thrown it. But man, I tell you what, the biggest thing with that Arashi that I've seen, and I'm not a glide bait fisherman. I'm not going to sit here and tell you, hey, I know all about glide bait fishing at all. But what I have noticed is you can wind it, you can reel it as fast as you can, it won't burn out. It glides very well. You can make it turn sharply, and a lot of times having something like that on a glide bait and having be able to do multiple different things, that's a huge deal. I mean, what do you think, Ott?
Yeah, I agree, and I'm right there with you. I'm no expert on a glide bait. I've caught some fish on a glide bait, but I'm no expert on it at all. So yeah, that's it. But that Arashi one, it really is a very special one. It's so easy to fish. It does everything you want one to do, and it does it for like what are they, $35 or something.
Yeah.
I mean, it does everything that you need a glide bait to do, and it is the most reasonable one out there on the market. So. An excellent bait for sure.
I think one of the biggest things with that bait that I gotta give them props with BP and Storm is the rotating hook hangers. That allows that bait to where when you hook a big fish, they can't get that leverage.
Yes.
In my mind, there's so many baits the big profile baits that I wish we had that, and that was something that was really smart, really well thought out. When they were developing that bait.
Yeah, absolutely. You see me, I was running right there and I made a U-turn. That's because I pulled up to the mouth of that little place where Wheeler is, saw him sitting in there, and it was like, well, that was spot number 2's checked off.
Hey, I was sitting in there. I hadn't been into that spot at that point in time, and so I was,
right.
That was sort of a deal. I'm hey, y'all know me. Like water temperature is about 59. It's about 60 degrees, 60 to 65 at this point in time. And so I picked up a buzz bait because you guys know, I mean, like, listen, when I'm and I know to catch a big one or I need to catch fish quickly, that water gets above 58 in the springtime. I want to say 58. I'm going to be throwing, I got to throw a buzz bait. It's just my thing. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no question.
I mean, that was the biggest thing. And so, like, as I'm going down through there, I'm looking. I personally did not see very many bedfish down this little stretch. I seen some fish move off, and then Otter and I talked a little bit that there was a few that he had seen down that stretch. We were talking about it after the whole deal was done.
Yeah. There was a few swimming around down through there, and I just went down through there quick on a trolling motor, in our little ride around period deal. But I definitely saw a few swim off the bed, but whether they'd have been catchable or not, I don't know at all. They there was a few there, but they were pretty sketchy for sure. One thing I did say on there, want to mention, is people were asking about Aaron Martin. Yeah, no, everything I've heard was that Aaron is doing good at home, and I know we're all very thankful to hear that. Even got out for a walk yesterday, so
that's awesome. Good. I know, we've all been praying and hoping for Aaron to make a speedy recovery. I mean, that guy is, man, I'll tell you what, I cannot talk enough about Aaron Martin and who he is as an individual. I mean, he's a great fisherman, but I mean, shoot.
Yeah.
The guy's
even better person.
He truly is. And the crazy thing is, I always, whenever I'm at an event, I'm always messing around with him, like, Aaron, hey, Aaron. I'll get in there, and he's got his stuff so organized. But I've learned so much from Aaron, and man, Aaron, our thoughts and prayers are out to you, buddy, and your family.
Yeah.
But it's good to hear that, I mean, he's making good steps towards positive recovery.
Yeah, absolutely.
They said Brody with the gadget. Hey,
yeah.
We're gonna talk. He's DJ Brody. He's learning. This is something that takes a lot of time and effort. I mean, I'll tell you what, this is not something that not everybody can do this, and
no.
So I'm very thankful for Brody. And I think we both are, just to be able to have the understanding of this. And this is going to take a little while to figure out. Trust me. We want to make this better for you guys. And we want to make this to where we have more people on and ultimately can grow it as big as we possibly can and give you guys something to do during this quarantine, give you guys some entertainment, and ultimately compete and have fun and stay sharp. That's what we do as bass fishermen.
Yeah, absolutely. I know this is something I think it's fun for us. No, I mean, even if we weren't filming it, if we were just going out there and doing this and texting each other what we caught, it would be a lot of fun. But yeah, I think being able to share this with you all just makes it even that much better. So
this guy asked, any tips for setting the hook on bedding fish that are just nipping at it, even small baits?
Yeah, man, that for me, you typically can make them. You gotta just keep making them mad. When we were fishing down at Lake Fork, I had some fish doing that, and I caught a lot of my fish down there on a pink floating worm. And the nice thing with that is I could see it really good. So I'd see them come up, eat one end of the worm, and just start swimming off because I knew they didn't have the hook. Actually, my first scoreable fish in that event, he did that a time or two. He'd just come up, bite the end of it, and start swimming off. I could see the rest of my worm, including my hook, sticking out of his mouth. But actually, the time that I caught him, this was a 4.5 pounder. This wasn't like a little fish. The time that I caught him, I saw him come up to the worm and bite just the middle. I could still see both ends sticking out of his mouth. So I'm like, well, he's got the middle. He's probably got the hook. And I took the hook and I had him pop with it right inside the mouth. So, having a bait that you can see in that point, in that time is definitely good. But man, just keep aggravating them because eventually, if they're nipping at the bait, you're eventually going to make them mad enough where they just suck the whole bait. And so don't jerk too soon. Just keep trying to get them frustrated, and they'll eventually eat it.
Yeah, I think that's a really good deal. And I think ultimately for me, like you look at a fish when you get them irritated and you get them and they're biting every time they're nipping at it. I think the biggest mistake that most people make is just setting the hook too quickly, like you said.
Absolutely.
We never ever trying to set the hook and catch that fish outside the mouth or anything like that. Little one. Okay, so I'm never trying to set the hook and try to catch that fish outside the mouth, but if you rush it too quickly, it happens. So the biggest key for me, I think, is throwing a drop shot. I like throwing a drop shot with a finesse Nico, throwing some sort of soft plastic on there, a smaller profile soft plastic that I can visually see. If I got him fired up enough, if he nips that, it's over. Done.
Yeah.
Wrap. Another thing is throwing a heavier fluorocarbon on your spinner rod. So if you're throwing a wacky worm and you're around heavy cover and you need to be throwing a spinner rod, you might be throwing 15-pound braid. Well, you don't have to throw 10-pound fluorocarbon. A lot of times I'll throw 14-pound Subex fluorocarbon tied to that 10 or 15-pound braid, and that allows me to fish. In that situation, where I could fish that worm or that particular technique with that spinning rod in heavier situations, heavier cover situation?
That was at Okeechobee this year. I use 10 a lot on a spinning rod, and at Okeechobee I had some fish that were on the bed that might would blow up, miss my swim jig, whatever, and I rigged up a wacky worm and I had it on 10, and this was on the knockout day, and I picked it up where this one fish, like a 4-pounder, that looked like blew up on my swim jig, missed it. I eased back over there, threw it right on its bed. It didn't sink that far, and it swam down in the reeds. I said hook, and it just immediately broke me off. I'm like, well, that was dumb. So I sit down and put on 12, and I mean, fish with it that way the rest of the time. And I've always kind of been hesitant to do that. I have no idea why to put a bigger leader on, but that was what I did at Fort, and I had a 12-pound leader on this one, catching that 614. It was hard to see in that footage, but it actually, when it come up and jumped, it was underneath a lay-down log, and my line went around the knot, and the fish was coming back to me, pulling against that knot. But then he turned and went back around the other way and undid it, and stayed on there the whole time. So, that was that 12-pound leader, 14-pound leader. Man, it's just so nice to fish with a spinning rod. You can put it wherever you want, and it's so easy to skip a light deal, small bait, whatever. But using that bigger leader is really smart. It should be done.
That's for sure. I'll tell you one thing that we had a question, and I'm sorry if I'm missing a few. I'm trying to look through a few things as well. Was chatterbait rod or vibrating jig rod? Yeah. What is your setup? It said fast action or moderate. What is your personal setup for a chatterbait?
Yeah, for me, I use it's a Bass Pro crank and stick rod, which is they're more moderate action anyway. But they call it it's a 7.3 heavy. Man, it's not a heavy at all. But yeah, they call it 7.3 heavy, but it is a very moderate rod. It's fine for me. If that one's good for you. But Jenny just pulled some steaks off the grill, just checking them out. But yeah, that 7.3 heavy moderate is what I use. What about you?
You're on camera. Smile. You're on candid camera. Holy, she's just trying to figure it out.
I just brought dinner home. Sorry, I was just trying to read the comments.
That's good.
Yeah, I mean, so that was so chatterbait rod. Sorry, I was still going through it all. I would agree that is definitely a moderate action is my personal preference on it. I have a 7.3 medium heavy, my Jacob Wheeler Signature Series ducket rod. That's what I throw my vibrating jig rod or vibrating jigs on. But just having that for me is having that moderate action where it has a lot more bend. A parabolic action for me is a bigger deal. When those fish bite it, you just reel and you just pull and you got them, and that's a big deal.
It's funny how many more of them that you land and how it's on a graphite. So is yours a composite or is it's just a graphite?
It's just a graphite. It's just graphite.
Okay, yeah, but just a more moderate. But it's funny that more moderate rod. If you use a fast action rod, what I always noticed anyway, and tell me if you the same way, but the really hard bites, the ones that just not slack in your line or really thump it, those were always the ones I lost. A lot of times they'd jump and come off, but the ones that would just come up and it's like, is that great? No, that's a fish I'd reel into and I'd catch them. But those really hard bites on a fast action rod were the ones I always lost. It made no sense.
Yeah, I mean it's definitely a little bit weird, but I mean I think I think general consensus is probably I could see a fast action rod, but for us it's moderate. Another question I thought was a really good thing to sort of ask at this point in time was top 5 casters on tour. I think that's on at least.
Yeah. The man, one I room with Andy Montgomery. He would certainly be way
Absolutely.
Up there. Thrift would be way up there. I'm trying to think of who. I mean, obviously Andy Morgan is another one to be way up there. You would be way up there. There are some really, really impressive casters that we fish against.
There's no doubt. I think all of us can fish. I think make those casts to an extent. And this is the thing. Like I feel like you go through transit. It's just like practicing anything else. Like you go out there and you practice free throws every night. And you get better at it and you're consistent with it and you fish that way. Say you're skipping docks all the time. And when the more you skip docks, the better you are. So like,
Yeah.
I look back at a Table Rock event, the first Table Rock event that we fished back in the Bass Pro Tour event back last year, and I feel like I was more dialed then than I have been because I was fishing docks a lot of that time. Now I go back and I fish those same docks now. I'm gonna knock the snot out of a couple of them and hit the dang pontoon several times. But there was a point there where I felt like I could hit. Like you get that confidence, and that's like a lot of what it is just a confidence feeling that you know ultimately that you can make that cast, and you're going to make that cast, and you might be able to make 5 casts up underneath one pontoon, in a row, and that's
there's something that you say fairly often that I don't that much, but when I'm fishing docks for the first few times of the year, I make that noise, and it's when I'm trying to skip under that pontoon boat and it goes ding. That's I got rejected by Wheeler.
hey, you hit the ding. I know. It's like that's hilarious. But I mean that's a big deal with I would say so. Top 5 guys on my side. I would definitely say Andy Montgomery.
Yeah.
I would say Brian Thrift. I would say Andy Morgan. I would say Otter. You have to be. You're just so fluid in the way that you make your cast that I know, like hands down, when you watch a guy fishing like a shad spawn on docks, they have to be a good caster. Because if you can't make that cast, you're not gonna get a bite.
You're definitely not gonna catch them. I don't really put myself in that group because I know how much I miss and how many times a day I backlash. But I'm just it's kind of like I am with turkey hunting at this point. I'm very determined, so I'm going to keep trying until I get it in there. So it took me 8 days to kill a turkey. It may take me 8 casts to get under a dock, but I'm going to keep trying.
Yeah, I think that was definitely a yeah. I mean, you do. I mean, you're just so there's a certain point where those guys that are very natural casters. It's definitely one of those. I mean, I think that's there's no doubt about that. But I mean, there's a lot of great casters out there, but I think it really comes down to time of the water, and that's something that for me, I mean, we all try to fish as much as we possibly can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So right here, where are you at? Like, what are you doing right here, Otter?
It just sinks outside.
I'm in another area similar to where I started. A deal similar to that, but it's got a lot of flats, a lot of grass, and just trying to get up there in that stuff. Some real shallow areas, try to get to some hard bank, and you can see I've got my push pole broke out there because I got wedged up in there, and man, just I couldn't go anymore. So just so silty that push pole was actually just sinking down in the muck. But yeah, just trying to get into some of that really, really shallow, skinny stuff to get to place where it was hard bank.
All right, y'all. So we're gonna cut off. We're gonna jump off real quick here. Let you guys. We're gonna grab a bite to eat. We're gonna let you guys watch us a little bit, and we'll hop on here in a little bit. Check back in. So keep dropping those questions. We're gonna try to comment below, or just we're gonna try to make a little list of some of the questions you guys have and try to go back through there when we come back on. So hopefully you guys are enjoying this. Let us know what we can do to fix it, make it better. We'll see you here in a bit.
Yeah, sounds good.
Monster bass. Not hardly.
What's that water temp? Yeah, it's plenty warm enough.
like a bed. I'm thinking about going up the river.
Yo.
I just want to make sure this thing's working. You're like not entering fish or something. Go let me think that you've run off and left me or something.
No, I ain't caught a squirrel.
Dang. Dude, this is, I don't know what the problem is there. This sucks. That's hard.
I've seen a couple. They just acted real weird, and I've been running around a little bit. Well, eventually get on one. Now, I ran into this creek because I figured, I mean, hell, I'm like, I didn't even go in here when the little run around. I'm like, well, I knew that water was real clear, and I'm like, well, hell, I don't in here. Just go somewhere I hadn't been. That's where I was headed. Yeah, I was like, hell.
I thought it might have been where you was going when
Little one. I've caught some non-scorables, what I've caught. But I'm coming for you, don't worry. Somewhere, somehow, I'm coming. Not exactly sure.
I know it's coming. I know that.
I just gotta get one of these 2.5 pounders to bite.
Yeah.
First to get me on the board, and then I'll catch an 8.
Exactly.
And then we'll get it going.
Yeah. 10-4. I just want to make sure.
I hear you, buddy.
All right. See you.
It's like, damn, son, what are you caught here? What the hell? You ain't caught nothing? Son. I ain't saying. I ain't gonna say nothing. Leave me alone. That's the problem. Like, I have to go in that other creek. The water's dirtier. Oh, I might have been one right there. Messed that one up.
Spin pole.
Begging, man. There he is. I don't think. I don't think so. Dang. I don't know. I'm weighing. Scale. Where's that scale at? I don't think he's scoreable. I know. Dang.
coming. Okay. $1.8. Non-scoreable. Well, got a bite on a buzzbait. Man, I thought it would have been a 2-pounder. At least. I was hoping it was a biggin. Sure enough, bigs. We need a 5-pounder. Woo!
Oh, he come to it, little feller. Seen him, he was little. Little. He's still up there swimming around. Wondering what just happened. See, really little. Really little. I have to get out here and fish for ones that are not spawning yet or something.
Nothing.
A lot of beds right here. Ain't no reason there's should be some fish right in here. Whoa, there's a big one. Where'd you two come from? It's a big pair. what bed they come off of, but they're wanting to be back on the bed.
Lee, I would think you catch a dang bacon doing this. Alright. Trying to think of otters in that other creek. I'm gonna tell Andy to freaking go ahead. Let him. Let's go. There we go. There we go. Got him. Got us one. All right. Fish will wait. There we go. Turn the Rapala scale on. Make sure he's zeroed. 0. Oh, this guy weighs. Let's see what we got here. 310. 310. 310. Yes. We need a couple more like that. We'll be all right. Where's that? Right here. So I go add new weight.
Yep.
3. Done. 10. Done. Do I put pin number? Pin number required.
Oh, shoot. 3105.
3105. Done. Submit. All right, we're on the board. Gosh, dang, that took long enough. Where is the that was not easy button? That was not easy. That's what we need. That was not easy button is where I was looking for. We got us one. We need another one of those. That's what we need. There's another. We need a 3/4 to tie, right? I think that's right. 3/4 to tie. Straight hammer in.
That's a big old fish, and I finally found its hole. Whoa. That's a big one up there, too. That had to be a bass. He's coming back to this hole. E or P, whatever it is. Boy, every time you pitch, it's gone. She ain't as big as that other one, but she's a nice one. Oh, she was in there. Well, she comes right back. Oh, I don't like that thing. Where'd you go?
Crap. Let me get it aimed. I seen a couple like 3-pounders swimming down through there, but they were pre-spawners.
This is really not fun if they're not biting when they're on the bed. It gets pretty old. Pretty old pretty quick. Just sitting there waiting on one to make it mad, you know. It's not that much fun. Oh, Wheeler's on the board. Wheeler's on the board. We got less than 5 minutes left in this period. I'm done messing with this one. It's gonna be anybody's game. It's last hour for sure. For sure. We've neither one done a very good job of figuring it out yet. Ooh. That right there might be catchable. It was sitting there looking at me. That make it somebody I won't be able to see. Somewhere right in there. Right in there's where he was. Get that ripple to go back away. He was just sitting there staring at me though.
What's up, buddy?
There he is. Ooh, I see that one over there now. These fish are spooky, staying low water. He's already got my worm. Ah, dadgummit. Well, I guess I wouldn't have got him in time anyway.
Okay, we gotta count.
Didn't realize time was about up. So the land of that fish counted.
I'm not sure yet. I'm unsure.
Dang it.
Unsure exactly how I'm gonna go back to the last period. We're down.
Wheels, you're lucky,
A
buddy.
bit.
I should be blowing you out the water. Let's do
Oh,
another
man.
recheck.
I think that jig might be the deal. We'll be going through these rock banks. And
He's
hopping
out
the
of
jig around.
310.
respawn stuff or spawning stuff. I don't know. That's probably what I need to go do. Just
God,
put a couple
there's
jigs on
two
the
more.
front deck.
Dude, there's a pile of fish
And
right
go to
here.
work and just hope you can generate
I
a
don't know
couple
where
bites.
they all are bedding, but they're right here. They're probably on every one of these places that looks like a bed. Well, I hate he come off, but if I'd have landed him, it'd have been too late, so. You don't have somebody counting you down. It's easy to get lost as far as what
Tell you
time
what I'm
it
gonna
is.
do, put that damn jacket on. I'm about to do. This won't take long to edit. If we
They're in
edit.
this little zone, that's for sure. But they are not easy to get to bite.
Otter, don't be BSing.
Where's that one going? That's a lot of them. I don't know if they're actually locked on. Because they're swimming so much. So it makes me think they're not actually locked on the bed. They're just like kind of in here, but I can't get them by a frog or swim jig. About the only things you can get bit on in, or fishing here, I mean. Wheels,
Dang, buddy.
dude.
Hammer home.
Yeah.
Sucker, I'm like, gee.
Yeah.
This ain't easy.
It is not easy. I just had one right there.
Where they're going to the bathroom again.
Who are the
And
three
then
most
you started
intimidating pros to compete against? It's interesting.
All right, you go,
Three most intimidating pro. Man, that's a.
Three most intimidating pros. I like that. That's an interesting one.
Yeah, that is. That's a good question. You would be my number one. That's for sure. Man, Edwin.
Edwin's good.
Definitely. I mean, he's so intense.
He's a fierce competitor.
Very, very.
I would agree with that.
I guess the other one would be Iaconelli because, if you knock him out right at the end of the knockout round or something, you just never know what's going to happen. So
He might just.
I guess he'd be the other one.
He might just run his stuff over the dam. You just don't know.
Right.
He might just end it all, call it good.
Yep.
That's crazy. Yeah, so we've been watching you guys right now. We are in the end of the second period. I'm only 3-4 back, 3-5 to take the lead. So obviously it is anybody's ball game at this point in time. Fishing is very tough. So to give you guys a little bit of a rundown of what went down. Otter caught that big one, a 6-14, one fish, almost a 7-pounder. In my mind, like a 7-pounder. Like that's like close to a 7-pounder. So I mean, it's as close to 7 pounders, like 1 ounce, 2 ounces off a 7-pounder. Giant one. And then I just caught one pretty nice fish at 310. So the quality is there to get this thing done. I know at this point in time, I just know I have to think about what I'm going to do. Otter, you jumped off one right at the end of the period. Tell me a little bit about that. I know I seen it jump off like, gosh, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was. It was definitely a scoreable fish. Caught a couple little bitty ones that period, but that was the only scoreable bite I had that period. And I knew we were getting down close. I knew we didn't have much time left. But I had saw that fish roll up there on a real shallow bed. Made a long cast. Couldn't actually see the fish. I see it like swim through there once, and I'm like, when my worm was there, so I kind of ease up, and my line starts swimming. Dude, and I reel down. He's already got my wacky worm. So I reel down, set the hook. It was a little out of position, and when I started pulling back on him, he come up and jumped real high and threw it.
Let's say you got some air.
He did get some air, and even with that, man, doesn't happen very much. I think he'd had my bait so long, he must have had it kind of fun in his mouth. The only thing I can figure, but he doesn't much more than come off, and my watch goes off and tells me it's the end of the period. So had I landed it, I wouldn't have got to score it anyway. So that's something that I learned on that. We're used to having an official in both saying, all right, 2 minutes, 1 minute, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, they kind of give you that update. So, if you get a bite, or just how long to leave your bait out there. But with this deal, it's just on us. So you got to be a little more aware of just how much time you got left.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a valid point. I mean, when you have an official, that's definitely a good point. I'll tell you one that I thought was really interesting. A question that popped across the screen was, if you could fish with one legend, who would it be and why? And I'm going to answer the same question.
Yeah. Man, I got to fish with Jimmy Houston actually last year, a Legends tournament we did, and that was a lot of fun. Man, it was so much fun. Jimmy's a funny guy, always cackling. He's got beautiful hair, way better hair than you or I will. And but I mean, just a lot of fun. But that was one that I got to check off my list that I would love to fish with. I've been in the boat just a brief period with Kevin, so he's definitely one. But probably Roland in that Legends deal. I mean, Jimmy gets around really good, and Roland gets around really good. Bill Dance too. I mean, those guys are the pioneers of our sport. But man, Roland is still an extremely intense individual, and I think it'd be really fun to fish with him sometime too.
Yeah, for me, I mean that's a very good pick. I mean, I fish with Roland. And I have a video that I haven't dropped, and it's unbelievable. I'm going to tell you something about Roland. Roland's like, what is he, like close to 80? I think he's like high.
Yeah. Way upper 70s.
He's upper 70s. All right, I'm going to give him that. We're going to meet the boat ramp. We're fishing in a John boat. He has the John boat in the back of his truck. He has the John boat out of his truck before I even get there. Like, what? Wow. What almost 80-year-old has a John boat out of the truck, batteries in the boat, like trolling motor ready to go. This is the crazy. I can't even tell you the whole story because I mean I don't want to give it too much. I'm gonna tell you guys because it's unbelievable. So Birdie's literally pulling it up right now. So Roland, no joke. This is crazy. So we're fishing in super shallow water, and we're fishing, and this son of a gun. Like, I keep jumping in the front and then jumping in the back and jumping in the front. And like me, like 200 plus pounds, I'm sitting over here like, this son of a gun he's getting irritated. He's mad. He's like, we were stopping jumping back and forth. We're in shallow water. And you see these fish just taking off here and there. The son of a gun jumps out of the boat. No. It's like this deep. He ties a rope to his waist and starts pulling me around. On my life. Craziest thing. And I was like, and Roland was definitely number one on my list. I would say second would be Bill Dance. But Jimmy Houston, I mean, like, those are the three guys. Van Dam, Hackney would be another one of mine that I feel like, is a true legend. And you just a wealth of knowledge. And just to have the opportunity to pick their brains and talk about the history of the sport. That'd be awesome. So Birdie's looking for this clip, and I literally will pull this clip up. He's like going down through here. It's crazy. He gets so mad, but anyway. So we'll go down through here real quick here. How do we deal with the pressure of the score tracker and the time, ticking away? Yeah,
that's. I think you and I, we both started in Major League Fishing on the selects, and have probably fished as many Major League Fishing events as a lot of the original Cup guys, just because of fishing in selects, making it in the Cup. So I don't want to say it's old hat at this point, but we are pretty accustomed to it. We know how quick those 3 periods go by. And the thing is, and I think you were the same way when we first started with MLF, that we never let the score tracker get in our heads. We always tried to use it to know, okay, what I'm doing is keeping pace. No, this is not working. This isn't keeping up. or hey, I'm in a good spot. I'm separating myself from the field. So it's really, you can let it get in your head. You can let it really mess with you. But man, you can certainly use it to your advantage. And you gotta. It's one of those kind of deals. You just gotta find a plus in everything. And I know that's what I'm trying to do with it.
I would agree with that. That's a valid point. I think the biggest analogy that I love Score Tracker. I love time ticking away. I feel like it's a real sporting event. I always use this analogy.
Yeah.
If LeBron James, Michael Jordan, the best of the best in their sport, basketball or football, if they didn't know they were down by 10 points in the fourth quarter,
right?
Do you think they would play with that much intensity?
Nope.
There's no way. And so that was the thing that I feel like in fishing, we just always had to guess. We always had to guess, like, we're, all right. And there's so many times that, and I would assume you would be the same way, that when you get that momentum and you got on a little pattern, like, dude, I got a chance.
Yeah.
I know I'm back down a little bit, but I got a chance. I dialed it in, and I'm ready to roll. And there's something so special about that moment that I've never felt when I was tournament bass fishing until I fished this format.
Absolutely, and you and I both love fishing a shad spawn, and outside of being on a deep bite where those fish are grouped up and you're catching on every cast kind of deal. To me, that shad spawn, it's more intense to me than lead fish for a school of them, because you've only got an hour of the day or whatever to capitalize on. So it's like lead fishing and you've got 1 hour. Go. So it's that. But the cool part with that, with our format, man, it's just so neat to hear when you're really just wrecking on shad spawn deal, and it's going down so fast, and not only do you don't have long to do it, and you hear that wave just off. That's a good time.
There's no doubt. Brody has got this film of rolling. I got to pull it up here. Y'all got to see it. I'm going to give you guys a little clip. Literally, y'all are going to freak out. I'm still, in shock of this moment. So I'm going to pull it up here just real quick to show you guys what went down. Roland is dragging me around at this point in time with the rope tied to his waist. I'm helping him. I told him, I said, I'm helping him Texas rig it with Texpose, that speed worm. He had it buried in there. I said, bro, you're going to miss him like that or something. I'm over here.
Hey. What the heck? I don't know. This thing got bad. It got out the boat all of a sudden and it started walking around. I don't know how.
That's Scotty over there. This is the craziest thing ever happened. I swear, while I'm like, what? So that's a little clip of it. I'm not going to show you guys at all. That'll be a video that will drop on the channel soon. So, and real quick here, you have started your own YouTube channel. Have a lot of great content on there. So for all the people that are watching, make sure to hop on Ott's YouTube. It's Ott Defoe Fishing, or Ott Defoe. Is it Ott Defoe Fishing?
It's just Ott Defoe.
It's Ott Defoe. Okay, Ott Defoe on YouTube. So, and I'll put that in the description below. So make sure to click on his channel. Follow along as he goes through a lot of these events, and we'll both have this full deal on our round one of our first try at this on our channels here within the next few days. So you guys can go back and play it back, watch it, see what's going on. And the reason for this, I feel like it's a big deal a lot, is it's one thing seeing an edited version and showing you guys like, hey, look, we crushed them today. And you guys see all the highlights. It's great. It's awesome. Whatever. It's entertaining. But the realistic deal is that we struggle a lot of the times, and ultimately you learn more from the struggles than I feel like you do than catching them sometimes. You learn a little bit you want to. I feel like some people ask me I want to see how you guys adapt. What do you do? And that's a question I get asked all the time. What do you about? What about? I'm sure that's probably the same thing with you.
Yeah, it absolutely is, and thank you for the shout out, Wills, and for plugging my page there.
Oh, you're good.
But yeah, no, it definitely is. And this is the first time I've watched this, so obviously I knew what I did. I had no idea where you went, how you fished, what you did. I mean, the neat thing with you and I is we fish a lot the same, so I kind of could have guessed some of the things you did, but that's why, that's the cool part with it. Yeah, a highlight reel of watching a guy reel in a big one after a big one after a big one. Absolutely. I mean, who doesn't want to watch that? But for this kind of stuff here, this is where you can really learn. Like, you just about turned right there, but you were like, I'm gonna go left. I mean, that was when you took off right there. So it's that little stuff where you just watch. You watch the guy make decisions, and why you chose to go to this place versus that one, and that's the kind of place where you really learn a lot versus watching a highlight reel and that kind of stuff. Yeah, absolutely, you can learn from that. But this is just real fishing, and that's a good place to learn.
Absolutely. And at this point in time right here, I know I'm down like in the middle of what's going on. I know at the end of the day, like I got a little bit of time, and I gotta figure out how to catch a good one. So I'm making audibles. At first, in the beginning of this period, I actually said to myself, hey, I'm gonna fish the main river because I felt like a lot of these fish that were spawning were so fickle, or the main lake. That is the key with ultimately main body. If you're going to try to fish for fish that are pre-spawn or post-spawn, they're probably going to be on that main body. And so for me, that is ultimately what I was going to do. But at this point, I was like, man, I got to go back. And it was all I could do not to throw a buzzbait because I know I catch a big one. I'm like, I just want to throw a buzzbait.
And what's so fun, what you just said, we didn't talk about that at all. But actually, what I'm saying right now while I'm fishing is, man, I got to go out here and I got to fish some of the stuff on the main river. This, we're into our last period right here a little bit, and I keep watching the clock at the last period into 6:50, and I kept thinking, man, I just need to go out here and just try to find some fish that aren't trying to spawn yet. Kind of back out instead of fishing for these ones that are spawning. Let me back up to some that are probably still. Exactly what you just said is what's going on in my mind right now while I'm fishing. And that's what I was just saying. That you and I, man, it's like we're cut from the same cloth.
We fish very, very, very similar in a lot of ways.
It's so scary. It's scary how similar.
It scares me every time I turn around the corner and I see you sucker in an eight place. I'm like, well, I might as well get out of here because every fish that I feel like I would have caught, he done caught it, so it don't matter. I mean, I felt like I'm running around like crazy. I just right there at that point in time, I literally shook one. I had one come up on my vibrating jig, and like the little 2 hours that we had to run around. And I went back there. I didn't even know if it was a scoreable fish or not, but I just had to go and flip that log. I was like, I had to make a flip. I had to make a flip. So that is something that I feel like there's certain people that you are very, and this is something that I'll tell you what I've started to get on is talking about generalist over specialist. And when we were growing up, I feel like specialist was the main deal, and that was the main deal. You had your Denny Browers, the flippers. You had Kevin, where he was a cranker, a power fisherman. You had multiple different people. Like, as this is changing along, what are your thoughts on specialist over generalist?
It's funny, because it's like early in my career.
Another little non-scoreable.
That being a generalist, a very versatile angler was what you had to do.
Why couldn't y'all been 2 pounders?
In some ways, that being a specialist, in a lot of ways, is kind of better because, and I think it's in some ways, I think it's got to do with our format. I think
spoke to an awful lot rock
every
right there.
fish counting.
That's a pretty good swirl.
You can't just go out and be versatile and catch 5, 6, 7 fish in a day and come in and end up having a good day. You're almost better off really dialing in what you do best and making that work, because you get figured out what you're going to do best, what you can do best. You're gonna catch more. You may not catch the very biggest fish in the lake, but you're probably going to catch more. You find an area that works for you. So I feel like I've kind of seen the switch in the 15 years or so that
Maybe they started biting.
I feel like I've kind of seen go away from being being a general, just all around good angler, can do everything to where really guys that are kind of specialists are better, better day in and day out somewhere.
See, I would disagree.
Okay.
I would disagree, and this is why I feel like that. I feel like back in the day, I think you made some solid points there.
Well,
I think there's
changes on the
certain
score tracker.
times that it does. I think you have to lock into your own personal. You have your own personal identity as an angler. Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like that is something that happens a lot. But I think what happens is with that is like, I feel like with this Major League Fishing format versus like a 5-fish format, like I could just throw one bait, and if I got 5 bites on a buzz bait all day long, I'd be okay. You have to adapt to the conditions in this format because you can't just have a morning bite. There's so many different times that I felt like I could just go and throw a swim jig on a shad spawn or a spinnerbait, catch me 5 good ones, and I was good. Or pull up a one school and catch a good one. And I feel like now you can't do that. You have to have a morning bite. You have to have in between. You have to have an afternoon bite. You have to have a mid-morning bite. You have to have things that are constantly going on, and you have to adapt to that situation. So I feel like, in my mind, one of the people that I looked up to a lot growing up was Edwin. Edwin was a very versatile angler. He adapted to multiple different conditions in what he was dealt with. And he's won from the Tennessee River to up north, all over the place. Yeah. And won Angler of the Year last year, won Red Crest. I mean, capped it all off. I mean, I don't need to tell you, Redwin's obviously a mega hammer. But so, like, in my mind, I feel like more now than ever, you have to be more of a generalist. Now, you have to have your own little specialty, don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously mine, for me, I think if I had to pick one, would be a topwater. Yeah. I feel like I'm a topwater fisherman if I can throw a topwater. But at the end of the day, I feel like if you can't adapt to the conditions, if you're not generalist enough where you can adapt and you're good with every different technique, you're gonna fall behind very quickly, and the format will show you out.
Yeah, and that's I definitely couldn't agree with that. I think that each of us having our strong suit and having our identity, what we like to do as anglers, can sometimes offset that. Some of those lulls.
That's something these fish
I maybe catch them on a top water in the morning, and I feel like for me in Major League, I've learned that just how many fish are in an area and how a lot of times not actually leaving the area.
Whether it's these spawners or.
So I guess my thought on it isn't so much
ones that ain't spawning. That's something.
I'm a good swim jig fisherman. That's what I'm going to catch it on. It's more about that. Like I would rather fish shallow than deep, most of the time. And so in some situations, that's what I'm going to lock myself into. But yeah, I guess it's, to me, maybe it's more whether you're a dragger or a cranker, so that, to me, maybe that's kind of the difference that I was thinking of a little bit too, as to whether you're I guess a power fisherman versus
something better than what I'm doing.
And I think either one of those can serve you well.
I definitely agree with that. So, you guys, right now we are early on. I think we probably have close to about 45 minutes left. Obviously, at this point in time, I know I need a good one. I'm swimming a jig. I'm throwing a buzz bait. I'm throwing a frog. I'm flipping a little bit. I'm definitely moving around. You can tell that right now. Hey, slow and steady wins the race. Oh, slow and steady, you're odd over here on the right. I see that sucker just taking his time.
Man, I'm nervous as a lone-tailed cat in a room full of rocking chairs. I just know at any point in time you're going to catch one, and I would have been even more so if I knew that where you're fishing at is probably the dirtiest water we had available to us, and man, that's so pretty in there, and that dirty water is kind of a neutralizer when those fish are spawning a little bit. You don't have to finesse them quite as much. And, so it's a little bit of a neutralizer. So that I was nervous anyway because I know, dude, you're one bite. And I may or may not get another one, So at this point, I'll fish that whole second period without catching one. So, yeah, and you're in prime stuff right there.
I'm trying, man. I'm trying to think about ultimately what can I do. I think this is something that was interesting. So, someone had commented, and said, hey, you know, what do you look for? Does the water clarity determine much on spawning fish? So I'm going to throw that to you. In your mind, does water clarity determine much on depth the fish spawn, on what they do, all those, you know, a lot of those details? What are your thoughts on that?
A couple general things. They're generally going to spawn shallower, you know, where they still got to get up there where they can get sunlight on their eggs and stuff. So generally it's going to be a little bit shallower. And then, you know, always next to a piece of cover, which they pretty much are in clear water too, especially for largemouth. But more times than not, they're going to be easier to make bite. But at least in clear water, you can see them and know they're there. So a place where you may fish by this stuff in dirty water, you shake your bait twice, you don't get a bite you reel it in. Where in clear water, you see the fish, you know it's there, you're going to make 10, 15, 30 pitches, sit for 30 minutes to try to catch it. Where in dirty water, you just don't think that fish is there, so you're not going to spend as much time on that particular place. So they each have their benefits. If the fish are in a fairly aggressive mood, you know, the rest of the conditions are good. You're not dealing with falling water like what we have here, plus a cold front. You know, fish in dirty water, they're probably going to be easier to get the bite than fish spawning in clear water.
Yeah, I definitely 110% agree with you on that. Like that, you took the words right out of my mouth on that. I'm trying to get down through you guys' questions. I know I've seen a comment that said that MLF was owned by Bass Pro. That is not that's not true.
Nope.
So I just wanted to correct that. Also, there was a comment on here that was wanted to know, what was your color selection of your baits and why?
Yeah.
So go right ahead.
On my wacky worm, I was throwing a watermelon, pretty clean in most areas where I was wacky worming. That was what I caught that 614 on. And I was, you know, for where we're fishing, the water's fairly clean, other than where you are right here in that dirty water.
Yeah.
But yeah, watermelon, green pumpkins. When I threw a frog, it was a cocoa camo. That's kind of what I was going with.
For me, it really came down to, you know, water clarity. I think that Ott hit it right on the head. You try to, obviously, the clearer it is, I think the clearer the water is, you go to more translucent colors. So like your watermelons, like you were talking about, that is the number one of the best colors in super, super clear water because it's so translucent. They can't get a really good look at it. They don't know exactly what it is. So they're just so curious they bite it. And then, you know, you go to your stained water or just a little bit, you know, I would say that 1.5 to 3 foot of, or, you know, 1.5 to 2.5 foot of visibility, that's your green pumpkin water, I feel like. I'll tell you one of my, and then when the water got dirtier, just a little bit more stained, I was throwing a Bama bug, a Bandito bug, flipping it around and stuff, you know, on the back, because that Bama bug has a little green pumpkin and then has a June bug as well, so it sort of offsets it. So that little contrast really does well when that water's at 1 to 1.5 foot visibility, and then when the water's less than a foot, I go to a black and blue. So that's sort of my transition of as far as flipping baits. I also threw a frog, which I think blacks, browns, most of those are really pretty good in most water conditions. I think clear to muddy. But that's sort of how I looked at it, and that was definitely a major player on all that.
Yeah, for sure. I remember somebody that might have been in a Bass University deal or something I went to as a kid, and people were like, with soft plastics, you know, you want to almost match the color of your bait to the color of the water, and that it made no sense to me. Like, man, you need to throw something they can actually see. You need to throw something that'll stand out. But I've learned and I've seen we do not give bass near enough credit as to just how good they can be. I mean, man, they live in their environment 24/7. We go and we venture out into their environment 3, 4, 6, 8, 10 hours at a time, and we think we know what they know. We don't have a clue what they know. We don't have a clue how they see things. And what you said about the translucent colors in clear water couldn't be more true. That you just want something to make a disturbance down there, but the fish really can't tell what it is. And the only way a bass or any fish for that matter can actually figure out what something is to put it right in their mouth. And guess what? Once they've done that and you felt it, you caught it.
It's over.
That's all you got to do.
It's a wrap.
Yep.
That's a good point. I have a couple other things as to that individual that asked. Well, are we applying penalties? So at this point in time, we aren't.
No.
And that was, I think we are all trying to pay attention. Both of us are paying attention to dropping the fish below the gunnel, the normal procedure. But at this point in time, we don't have boat officials, so it would be tough to really apply that. As this goes on, maybe we have the people that we're quarantined with along with us in the boat. Maybe we can figure that out as long as everybody has that opportunity to do that. I think that would potentially maybe come along the deal. So that is definitely something on the horizon. We just got to figure out. Also, they asked, what app are we using? This is actually the MLF website. Really cool thing. MLF has this format available to everybody. It's actually free. You can sign up. You can create your own league. So if you're wanting to do this exact format with all your buddies, tournament fishing is postponed, and you don't want to get caught up. As long as you guys have a similar scale and you guys can weigh the same thing and know that it weighs about the same size, you can do just this with 5, 10, 15 people. As long as like most of us, I feel like on most tours have a Rapala scale because of it's so consistent. So that is probably, in my opinion, one of the most consistent scales for the price of money that you're going to pay. That is definitely, I would recommend, grabbing one of those if that's what you're, if you can. But definitely look out at the MLF website because it's definitely got a really cool opportunity for you guys to get on there for free and do that.
Yeah, and that was what we did on the, if you missed at the beginning, we were trying to figure a way to zero out our scales, make sure that they were the same. And I pulled my trash can out and put a little bit of water in it, hung it on there, and mine was 4.4. Hung it on yours, it was 4.4. Those Rapala scales really are pretty dynamite.
Yeah, for sure. I'm looking down through here. Did he say free? Yes, I did say free. It doesn't cost anything, from my understanding, to sign up. That is exactly what I said. So to be able to have the Major League Fishing format on your phone through the website, you have to create a group. I think you have to create a tournament. And then you have to, it takes a little bit of time, but it's definitely free 99.
Free 99. Yeah, I like that.
ScoreTrackerLive.com.
There you go. Brody chimed in. Somebody asked me, they said, is Brody a good fisherman? I'm going to tell you, Brody's a very good fisherman. Brody and I fished growing up against each other. He's one of the best draggers, and I mean a hardcore dragger. What I mean by that, he can drag around better than anybody that I've ever met. He'll sit there on one pebble and shake it there, and the one will take off with it, and he'll be reeling them in 3 minutes later. And I'm like, that ain't me. That ain't me. So, yeah, Brody can definitely catch a few bass. And we go out periodically and just we put the cameras down and go fish and have a good time. So there's no doubt. So just answering that question, I seen that on there, and I had to answer that. Otter, what is your PB?
10-9.
10-9. Big one.
Yeah.
Where'd you catch this sucker at and what on?
I caught it on Lake Kissimmee, in an open, and I caught it off the bed. It was on like a creature bait.
God.
Yeah, caught it.
You seen her?
10-9.
God.
I did see her before I caught her. So I already had an 8. Already had a pretty good bag. That I ended up with 29-14 that day. My biggest bag at the time. Yeah.
God.
That was crazy. But I had like an 8 and a 5 and a 4 and some 3s or something. I had well up into low 20s or something. And I come by this big old white spot, and I could see the big white spot, and I just on the motor on like 5 or 6 and just kept going because I saw it. I was like, dude, that fish is as long as my leg. I told my co-angler, and
I know about
so I
that.
just spun around and got out there and got set up and stayed out from the bed, just pitching, kind of make a long picture to her and caught the male first, and then finally did end up catching her. Actually, on what I told my co-angler, because it was pretty late, and I had that good bag. I was like, we got to leave. I want to say it was 2:15. I was like, 2:15 we're leaving, and it was 2:13 was when I set the hook.
Dang, that's freaking crazy though. In a tournament under pressure, that's one of the hardest things I feel like is to sight fish under pressure in a tournament, like and knowing that you have no control over that fish biting or not sometimes, and those fish, and being patient. You know, that's a tough one in a lot of situations. My personal PB was a 1238.
Wow.
It's a big one. It's a big one. It's a big one. And I got off the plane. I flew down to Orlando. I caught it in Florida as well. And I got off the plane, met up with a buddy of mine, went to the lake. We got there about 1 o'clock. And 45 minutes in, I grabbed one of his rods. I put an ounce and a half weight. I'm flipping a creature bait, punching, and I get a 7.6 rod flipping, which I always flip with like a 7.11. And I make the longest flip. Like our pitch is actually what it is. Yeah. I'm saying flipping, but I mean pitching like way out there. Nobody really flips that much anymore, unless you're Gary Klein. Which Gary, if you're watching, you're my hero. So it's you kill me. Anyway, so pitching, I make this pitch where I got an ounce and a half weight. I'm like, and it makes a bowling ball goes, whoosh, and there's like one little like hyacinth mat and like some lily pads. And it goes through there, and it's like, and I pick up, and I'm like way out there on the back of the boat. It goes, and I'm like, and it goes, oh my god! I'm like, gosh! I thought for a split second there, I thought I had an alligator, and then it jumped, and just like, whoa, like Free Willy style. And I'm like, well, you gotta be kidding me! Like you kidding me? And then I got that, I lipped that sucker, and I was like, I got in the boat. So it was like 45 minutes after. It was like an hour and 45 minutes after I got off of the plane. I caught a 12.38. I've caught multiple 980s, 990s, but I've not caught. And if you guys have watched the video on the channel, I just dropped. I caught a big dodo on film. Big dodo. I don't use that word a lot, but it's a big dodo. So make sure to watch that if you haven't seen that. But we're gonna get back right around here, Otter. I seen you caught a 1 or 2 fish while we were talking. We're gonna sort of talk about what we did or what we're doing right now, and then let these guys watch what goes down because it's gonna get a little exciting.
Okay. Yeah. I finally just kind of committed. I had some. There was 2 or 3 over there I was looking at. I did lose that one right at the end of the period. There were several fish right in that area, but man, I just couldn't get them to go. Light was getting kind of low. It was getting later in the day, and so I finally just like, you know what? I'm just gonna take this wacky worm, just throw it at holes in these grass. You know, just throw it way out there, and yeah, I was able to get some bites, but they were just non-scoreable, just little guys. And so yeah, I was kind of just committed at that point. You know, light was getting too low to really try to fish where I was. I was just like, man, I'm just gonna cast and fish. I'm just gonna do that for the rest of the time.
Brody is pulling up that big one that I just caught, so you guys can see it real quick here. That was that big one. I'm not gonna say the name of the weight, so if you haven't watched it, you guys can just watch it and see what you think. So it was a lot of fun. I was shaking. I caught this fish sight fishing real quick here, and I was literally shaking when I seen it. So it was a really cool deal. Obviously, you could tell that I love bass fishing. We all do, and that was the one that I was pretty jacked up on. But real quick here, on what I'm doing right here, I'm back in this little backwater, and I'm fishing. I'm just trying to understand what to do. You know, I'm throwing a buzzbait, I'm flipping, I'm swimming a jig. I'm constant. See, this is the thing. I don't feel comfortable. In a situation with not having multiple decks on the rod. Like I like to have multiple rods on the deck so like if I'm swimming a jig on some grass and I come to a lay down, I flip it, and then I come to a little trash mat, I throw a frog on it. It's just like that's why a lot of times I have so many rods on the deck. And I feel like Otter's the same way. I think Thrift's the same way. I think Andy's the same way. I feel like a lot of us sometimes fish similar in a lot of ways. You know, and so like that's something that I feel almost comfortable when I have more rods. Like I don't have to pick them up, but at least they're there. And a lot of times you'll see me, I'll just pick up a rod and I'll take it off and I'll just make 3 casts and I'll pick it back up, put it on the deck, and I'll continue to fish. So that's something that allows me to sort of go through my progression of what I feel like I ultimately, you know, might need for that day.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Because there's so many times where, like, you're going down the bank with that buzzbait right here, but you get to a different looking little clump of grass. You don't feel like you can get your buzzbait through or whatever. You pick up your swim jig, you're able to swim it right through it, bam, you catch one. And it may just be that that's what you could fish there. That was the tool that fit the job. But it also may be that you end up going to the next little thing, and you lay your buzzbait down, you pick up your swim jig again, and second cast you catch another, and you're like, well, maybe they don't actually want the surface bait, maybe they want something moving just under the surface, and it helps you dial that pattern.
Dang.
Until you get to that point where you're like, this is the bait they want. This is the one I need to keep in and go with it.
I'll lay my hook here.
Absolutely. So, all right, we're gonna let everybody watch the remainder of this. We might hop on for just a little bit after everything goes down. Otter, you're the man. You the man. We have having a lot of fun with you guys. Thank you guys so much for watching along with. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know what we can change, how we can make this better. Maybe some ideas if you have ultimately an idea that you want us to mess around with. I actually just caught one on a frog that was non-scoreable, but we only have a few minutes left, and things are going to get pretty interesting. So make sure to watch. Thank you guys so much for watching along. Also, obviously, subscribe to Otter's channel. Make sure to do that. And I'll try to probably pop back on here. I don't know for Otter. You know, he's got a family at the house. He's got a lot of kids. Everything else, we'll sort of see, and we'll try to check back in with you guys here towards the end of this here in a minute.
All right. Yep. Sounds good.
There might be a lot of them right now, but they ain't all spawning. Gives me something to set up here on a crankbait.
What's that?
Boy, don't you know they're in there? Got 25 minutes. That's all we've got left. Gotta check the score again. Still the same. How's that possible? Well, I've had a lot more opportunities. I'm sure he's had some too. But they ain't just biting real good. That's for sure.
It's legit. Man. Oh no! You gotta be kidding me. Gosh, dang it. Oh, man. That sucks. Can't believe that crap. I'm like, doof. Start coming off, cracking. Sucks. Dang, man, that was a good one too. I mean, I had it was a 3-4 pounder, and 2.5 to 4 pounds. 650.
20 minutes.
Like otter. We needed more than 3 hours. We needed all day to make it act like we're have Brody cut out a couple little tidbits.
There's one. The little guy. Crank plug. Out of tune. Well, Wheeler ain't ever going to take my recommendation on anything anymore after today. Next one of these head-to-heads we do, we'll definitely, he'll be picking where we go. I would have thought this place would have been pretty dynamite, but boy, it's with the water dropping and whatever else is happening, it has gotten tough up here. Gotten tough. That's the way it works, just when you think you got a sure thing in bass fishing, they'll show you you ain't. Use that sticko, it's a little bigger, a little darker. Still nothing else. Starting to cool off too. If it wasn't so close to the end, I'd be putting my sweatshirt on. Only got 15 minutes left. This water in here's clean, it's pretty.
good.
Don't know that he's a 2-pounder, and he left. I'm talking about left town. "12 minutes remaining in the round." Oh, that doesn't count. Stay on there. Stay on there. I need you to beat Wheels. Stay on there, buddy. Oh yeah, come here. Come here, come here, come here. Don't do that. Open your mouth. Right off of a white spot right out there a little bit deeper. Let's see if I can remember how to weigh one because it's been so long. There's my scales. All right, double zeros. Yeah. Right here at the end. Oh man, that's a good one. 412. 412 is what she weighs. You can just see a little light spot out there in a hole in the grass. Just dropped that little fish, just swirled right here right behind the boat. Just dropped that little wacky worm down there. 412, baby. Man, it's been hard. Hard. Event is over. What do you mean event's over? The event ain't over. We extended it. Boom! There's a fish just swirled right here behind the boat too. Man, I've seen so many good ones. Like that size fish, I've seen so many of them. They're just,
It says event's
this
over.
place up here, the water had been a little higher.
Yeah.
And it's fell like 2 feet probably. Nearly 2 feet in the last 3 or 4 days. That's just really made it hard. I mean, these fish were, most of them were just super shallow. But that water fell so much, it's pulled them out a little bit, and they've, I mean, a lot of them are on beds again, new beds and stuff, but just made them weird. This has not been the day of fishing I thought it would have been, but I've had 2 nice ones.
Hell yeah, I heard it.
Wheels,
Yo, buddy.
you hear me?
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, I went to just put a fish in and it says event is over.
Yeah.
Damn, Brody, stop flying the damn drone.
Yep, got me a 412. Yep. Yep. Big old pretty one. Yep. 412. You caught any more?
7 and a 4. I just haven't put them in yet.
What?
No, I'm freaking out.
It wouldn't surprise me.
I'm actually currently hung up in a tree.
So that again.
I broke one off. I caught a pound 10. I broke one off.
Yeah.
The only two bites I had.
I can't get it like turn back on.
It's fine.
Okay.
We'll put the four.
Yeah, I don't know what.
Just lock it
It's
in
like
your
the
deal
event.
and you're
It
be
just says
good.
the event ended. I don't know if you'd put in a time or something before, and then we went later than what we'd planned, or whatever.
I mean, we're good. What'd you say now? Yeah, I don't. You son of a gun. How'd you catch that one, Otter?
Do what, Will?
How'd you catch that one?
Wacky worm.
You're a freaking wacky one, son. I'm gonna start
Yeah.
calling you David Dudley.
Most of the fish I've scored has been on a wacky worm.
Wacky worming. Unbelievable.
Yep. That's really the only way I've had a bite, I guess. I caught an itty bitty one a minute ago on a crankbait. I don't think I've had a bite on anything else. Well, that male I lost twice on a bed. Lost him on a swim bait and on a crawl.
Dang.
But I ain't had a bite on anything else. I feel like I'd bite a frog right now.
I had one bite on. I caught one on a frog and had one blow up on a frog.
I mean, with the
Yeah.
water having dropped and stuff, I can't believe that a frog won't work.
Oh, it would have been probably really good.
I'm in some stuff right now, like real scummy like stuff on top. It's perfect.
I heard a turkey just a minute ago.
How's there not any bites?
8 pounds, 10 pounds.
Man, they just do not want to chase anything, do they? That one you broke off a big one, or did you see it? It's getting cold. I'm about to freeze. I got more rods out than I do in a real tournament, I think. Pretty certain of it.
You sorry, sucker. Top.
Not quite gonna go. Chunky little feller, but he ain't a 2-pounder. And that's the end of the day.
Unreal.
Too bad he wasn't. Well, it sounds like I may have been victorious, but I'm gonna wait to celebrate till we get back to the ramp. But let's go see, Wheels.
Tell you what.
Let's see.
Still scratching my head a little bit.
Gonna
I had
see
2 solid bites.
how it
This
shakes
mini
out.
round,
But the app,
round
we had the wrong
one,
time in, so
MLF
timed out.
live-ish.
I was just talking to him. And
Round, end of the day. Defoe, hats off, buddy. Done killed the game. You know, it was a slow deal. We came up to this body of water with very limited time on this body of water and figured it out. So I'm making sure we got everything going with Odd on here.
Yeah, there we go. Sorry, I hit my mute button.
You're all good, buddy. Very limited time. We got a chance to get on this body of water, really dial it in. Hope you guys enjoy this. You're the best fisherman I know. I got to post on social. I'm going to wait a few days so the guys can watch it back. You know, tell your buddies that we're doing this. Tell all your friends. Man, I'll tell you what, Odd, I had a good time, man. I really appreciate you doing this with me.
No, I do too, buddy. It was a lot of fun, and I'm definitely looking forward to the next one. I may not even show up to the next one. I beat you on this one, just barely squeaked it out. So I think I'll just go ahead and ride off into the sunset. I'm good to retire.
Hey, you said won the last Bass Pro Tour event, then you won the first one of these ever. You can't just cut out now. This ain't how this is gonna work.
That's how I play cards. You know,
you just a win no matter what.
So you put a couple wins in your pocket and you just go ahead and check on out.
You just say, I'm gone. See you later, buddy. That's crazy, dude. Well, I appreciate you guys so much, man. I'll tell you what, I said this again, you know, Ott has a YouTube. He just started it. Make sure to go ahead and follow him along with. We are going to continue this trend. Hope you guys enjoy this. Let us know what we can work on. We're going to post this on the channel. This also will be up on his channel here very shortly. So if you guys want to watch on either channel, it's totally fine. Comment and let us know what you guys think. Really good job, Ott. Man, I'll tell you what, catching that big one. And really just, hey, I had an dang ball. We appreciate everybody that was watching. And your last words, last one, let you take it. Let you close.
Yeah, no, just I really appreciate you doing this. Appreciate Brody. He's obviously the brains behind the whole operation. So really big thanks to Brody. And it was my responsibility, I guess, this time on picking the lake. Man, the quality was there, but our number of bites were down a little bit. So that is your responsibility next time. So
I'm taking
it. Pick us a good one.
All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next time. Thank y'all so much for watching. We're out.